Hello there. Quite the week in Europe, eh? The Germans upbeat, the Spanish beat up, and the rest of us listening to the wind of change after a pair of glory nights. Hard to think, in fact, of a bigger week, really, in the European game. Certainly for Germany. Indeed, before the semi-finals could even get underway, the press there reeling from two absolutely massive stories. One being the fact that Bayern president Uli Hoeneß is in trouble for massive fiscal fraud, all over the front pages there. The other big story, the Mario Götze transfer, the homegrown Borussia Dortmund star, moving this summer to their biggest rivals, Bayern Munich, with the announcement coming just before the semi-finals. Well, German papers somewhat shocked by this. Süddeutsche Zeitung, for example, saying, hang on, wasn't it just last week that Hoeneß and Bayern themselves were warning of the dangers of the Spanish model and single clubs becoming too powerful? Other papers are curious about the timing of the announcement and how it coincidentally shifted attention from Hoeneß and his fiscal problems. A Die Welt, though, over here with an entirely different tack. There were these lyrics from Die Totenhosen, the 80s band, says the paper, which went like this: if I were 20 and super talented, I would still never, never, never to FC Bayern Munich go. Sounds catchy. Well, having ripped the Götze out of their rivals on Tuesday night, of course, Bayern proceeded to do exactly the same thing to poor old hapless Barcelona, who had much the same problems with their attacks as Herr Hoeneß has been having. Bild celebrate the result thus: Hoeneß on bail celebrates the semi-final. Bayern stunned the world of football. On this night, Messi was played by Müller, who was 3 times as dangerous as all of his opponents put together, says Der Tagesspiegel. On a day dominated by news of Hoeneß and Götze, Bayern sweeps away the great Barcelona like they were Hoffenheim. And Munich-based paper Abendzeitung agrees. Munich gave Barcelona the ultimate humiliation. Thousands of their spectators leaving the stadium way before the final whistle. Bild, meanwhile, wonder about Pep Guardiola. Yupp and his Giants. What on earth can Pep teach them, they say. Certainly like Sepp Blatter at the buffet. Does look like being a hard act to follow. Well, what are the reaction in the Catalan capital? You won't be surprised to hear they didn't take Tuesday's result too well. Sport, it's the saddest night of all. Why didn't we use our subs? Asked the paper. It wasn't just the 11 starters who ended humiliated. Nightmare, the headline here in El Mundo Deportivo. We were run down by a Panzer. Not even the disastrous refereeing excuses Barca's performance, says the paper. Where did it all go wrong? Well, Messi wasn't fit, the team was tired, and whisper it, UEFA fancy a change. Barcelona have commanded for 5 years now. UEFA wants something new. Well, in Madrid, Marca were giving a different explanation for the historic beating. In the last 4 years, they point out, Barcelona have spent 300 million euros on players, only 2 of whom are currently starters at the club. They must do better. AS, meanwhile, also from Madrid, say they lost more than a game. They lost their credibility. It is the end of an era. Well, strangely, that wasn't AS's view the very next day when it was Real shipping 4 goals in Germany. Instead, on Thursday morning, AS going with Operación 3-0, Operation 3-0, the scoreline that would see them go through to Wembley, citing their similar comeback against Derby County in 1975. Well, that's all well and good, but let's get the German view. Bild has the German final grows closer after this 4-1, and plenty of love here, as everywhere, for this fellow, Robert Lewandowski, who scored all 4 Dortmund goals. He's unearthly, says Bild. He's galactic, says Der Tagesspiegel. Abendzeitung again. Final in Wembley. Look, they're already draping their scarves there over Big Ben. Tagesspiegel indeed saying Germany 8, Spain 1. It is an exchange of power this week. For years, points out the paper, we've been chasing the Spanish. They've been like a curse for German football. But the message is now clear. We can overthrow them. The El País agree. They say there's no antidote to this resurgent Bundesliga. Marca as well, taking a pretty dramatic view of Wednesday's result. In the dark of the German sky in Dortmund, all you could read was Lewandowski. Real Madrid, says Marca, will never forget the name of this Polish forward. 4 goals. 4, 4, 4, 4. We repeat it, says the paper, to underline the magnitude of his achievement in a Euro semi-final. The headline here, by the way, Palizowski, which is a mix of Palizo, which is a beating, and Lewandowski, so sort of beating-offski. which is ironic because the papers say Dortmund are about to flog their pole to, guess who, Bayern Munich. Well, just to finish off then, a little bit of schadenfreude, of course, after Tuesday's humiliation for the folks in Catalonia. Madrid also ship 4, says Sport. Mundo Deportivo, Madrid take a bath, Madrid all washed out. It was a total debacle for Los Merengues, says the paper. Borussia were insultingly better. While Bayern's thrashing of Barcelona was still echoing around Europe, a Pole by the name of Lewandowski turned over a Madrid side that was already dancing in Covent Garden, celebrating early La Decima, their long hoped-for 10th European title. Madrid then, with their decima hopes decimated, and Barcelona meanwhile felled by Munchen players, a bit like Ivanovic, etc, etc, etc. Who knows then what awaits us in next week's second legs? Will the wind of change be a blow-in once more? Well, you can find out what the European papers make of it all next Friday, so hopefully you'll be joining us then.